11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
All right, and we're here for the weekly 2A update. Every week we take a look back at the good stuff so that our Patreons don't have to waste their time looking at crap that sucks. So this is the stuff that happened good. Oh, I'm not screen sharing. We'll go over to here. And why don't I just take the weekly wrap-up page. There we go. Try this. And what's happening? I think I have this in the wrong place. No, that's what I wanted. This is what I have in the wrong place. All right, now we're getting ready to do it. So let's see. I guess put it there. I don't know if I'm still in here. So if there's anybody out there, give me some feedback on if it's working or not. If my audio is working. Otherwise, it says I'm in there and it says that one's in there. So let's uncheck this. Oh, you know what? I'm never going to be able to get the comments in there because of I'm just sharing the window. All right, so that's what we'll do. All right, so I'll just have to come up for the comments. If anybody is here live, then you can write some comments. And otherwise, we're taking a look at the description to this video. And we do this live on Friday, and this wraps up the week and archive stuff for the Patreons. So this last week was Veterans Day, March 29th, started in 1973, the last day our troops left Vietnam. And of course, we try to post that over on the Instagram each year. Our veterans answered our country's call and they served with honor. And on March 29th, 1973, the last of our troops left Vietnam. Today, we reaffirm one of our fundamental obligations to show all who have worn the uniform of the United States the respect and dignity they deserve, and to honor their sacrifice by serving them as well as they served us. I think that was actually Obama who said all that when he turned it into a holiday a couple of years back. Oh, wait, when I open that up, yeah, you see that, I think. So I didn't even look over here to see if you're seeing it. All right, so we started off with Veterans Day. Or Vietnam Veterans Day, excuse me, that happens again on every day on March 29th. So I think that one moves around on what day of the week it is. So we'll start out this week with the winning and whining section here. I've been, I'm not here to rehash or observe what other people are doing. That's part of the wrap up, but the real work is out there being done by people like Chris, who addressed Congress, and Amy Swear, who also addressed Congress, Diana Mueller, I don't know if I'm saying the name right, who went to that Newsmax place and laid it down in a way that people could understand it. Maj is out there doing good stuff. So there's people that are really doing things, and then there's people that sit around and watch other people. And usually they just watch people that suck so that they can feel good about it. So winning and whining, right? How much of our time and resources are spent promoting and supporting these things like Utah concealed carry. I guess I was trying to summarize this, and I'm not sure. Let's see, do I have it written anywhere else? I don't think I do. I don't remember if that one is all the way. I think that one is all the way. And then some of these, like this one, Virginia Senate passed CCW online training extension. That one's going to their House, I guess, or their governor. I forget how their system works. March 9th, the Missouri House passed concealed carry on public buses. Not a big giant thing, but it's a move forward. It's a step forward. March 22nd, Kansas passed concealed carry. They lowered concealed carry age from 21 to 18. Then we get Tennessee, who passes constitutional carry in the legislature. That moves to the governor. In Iowa, constitutional carry was signed off. So on July 1st, they became the 19th state with constitutional carry. And then Alabama passed a lifetime concealed carry at their Senate, and that'll go to the governor. So these aren't all necessarily giant wins with somebody crossing the finish line and breaking a ribbon and crowds cheering, but these are positive steps that the people who would rather have you tune in tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow forever, they're never going to talk about the wins, or if they do, it's just going to be an aside thing. Because let's not forget and let's never fail to recognize the efforts of the people that made this happen and the representatives who are doing stuff. Lots of people out there are content with suggesting that the system doesn't work or the system's ending or that the concept of the system can't work any further. Of course, they're never going to pay attention to both sides of the balance, right? So it's just an effort to do that. Next, we'll get to John Lott talking in Texas. Crump posted this one. This one is definitely worthy of watching a couple of times. Well, I guess if I open it that way, you can't see it. So if I open it in a new tab, then I flip over to it, then you do see it. So Crump starts it, and then it's basically just looking at the back of John Lott as these people do their best to ignore him. A couple of them do ask pertinent questions, and he addresses them expertly. Awesome. Very good display. And the video is about 23 minutes long. Almost all of that is John Lott doing some explanation and then addressing particular questions from the different, I don't know who these people are. Some kind of, does he say? No, but some sort of Texas committee, I'm suspecting, of the state Senate. And yeah, I'd really like to see what the results of that one are. But anyway, DJ saying that testimony was awesome. I saw your comment in there right now. Yeah, exactly. It was very good. And it's a good resource, like a workbook, right? If you read or listen to that, read the transcript or something, then definitely lots of kernels, good kernels. You can listen to, people watch and observe and regurgitate news all week, and you can take everything you learned from that time spent and take that to an anti-gun person, and you're going to look like, you've regurgitated boilerplate. If you listen to what John Lott Jr. testified before the Congress in Texas for constitutional carry, you'll have more than the normal amount of arguments, and you'll have answers to some of the questions that people ask. And it seems to be answers that satisfied the Texas committee. Now, that's not a committee of people in, I don't know, name a state where they hate guns or something, but still, those are people that are trying to do their job to represent the constituents, and they're asking questions that some of them are softballs, but they're actually questions, and you get not just the louder, similar response. You get John Lott's well thought out, educated response. Again, it's definitely worth watching a couple of times, and thanks to Crump for posting that. People hate Crump. A lot of people hate Crump. They say Crump's a big jerk and everybody hates him. I don't agree with that because he posted that thing about Lott, right? And he also posted this next thing in the list. VA Reloaded episode 7. I think this is one of his projects to talk about Virginia stuff, or because he's in Virginia, talk about Virginia issues. But this is for everybody because Virginia Citizens Defense League is a big deal. The Virginia Citizens Defense League created other citizens defense leagues, which then created other things, and we exist on the shoulders of the Virginia Citizens Defense League, not alone, but they were certainly one of the first groups to stand up and represent what could be, and then other states emulated that. So knowing that is one thing, but having everybody on a panel and being able to talk to them was pretty neat. Now, it wasn't as geeky as I would have had, but it was the only version that we've ever even seen, right? You can also order that transcript. Let's find out about that because I'd like to see that available as a PDF someplace. Thanks for that. I didn't know you could get that transcript from Texas. So let's see. So that's an excellent, neat insight into the beginnings from 1994 to now, a history of the Virginia gun rights. These state level organizations didn't decide, hey, the NRA isn't doing so good, so let's complain and sit around or whatever. In fact, it was more like most of them from my research were like, oh, we have an issue with trapping over here, like, killing animals by catching their feet. Or we have an issue with waterfowl hunting over here, right? Or we have an issue with, it almost always started with hunting because this was the era when they weren't coming after private ownership of guns. They were coming out after the sporting use of firearms, which was blossoming in the eras when most of the state level organizations existed. So they came to life by defending hunters and gun owners from the anti's objectives of removing hunting from our culture, from our society. And that's why we see a lot of FUDs wear hunting stuff, because they were the first to defend the right to possess firearms so that they could continue doing what was being complained about or was being abused. So the Virginia Citizens Defense League was one of the first out of the second wave or the next wave of state level organizations that came from a interest in civil rights and the ability to be free as an individual. And that comes from authors. So when you go from the intellectual researchers and authors who write papers, and then those papers turn into books, get published, and then that motivates individuals to start organizations, well, that's the organization that you could say was one of the first to catalyze, or one of the first to crystallize from the concept. And then they became the catalyst for other state organizations to emulate. Really cool to be able to see that. And if you hate John Crump because of something else he did, then reconsider your hatred of him, because he had that show and it was pretty damn good. It wasn't perfect. So you can hate him because it wasn't perfect, I guess, but don't hate him because he also made it happen. All right, next is many things happen that we're focused on. I just write that in there. So next is the auto key card, blah, blah, blah. So Floodbusters is some channel. I think he's in Florida, and he made a video about it, and I watched some of that. I didn't watch a lot of these because this is one of these things where the kids are very emotional about it, and they're not good at using their words when they get emotional. So it's very difficult to watch them complain about this one. They're going to get better at complaining, and they'll get better at complaining to adults instead of just complaining to themselves. But this is basically a piece of metal that's the size of a business card, that basically a metal business card that somebody drew a picture on it that looks sort of like a bunch of Legos. And those pictures of Legos, if you were to actually file that out or something, or cut it out of the card, along the drawings, then you bent it all into shape, and then you bought a firearm, and then you crammed them all together in the right way, you have potentially created a full auto sear, which would need to be registered. And since the fuckers created a block on that in 1986 with the Hughes Amendment of the 1986 Gun Control Act, the 1989 Firearms Owners Protection Act, then 86, shit, I'm getting my numbers mixed up. It's easy to remember, 68 and 86. See, so 86 Gun Owners Protection Act had the Hughes Amendment, and that stopped the legal creation of firearms. So we have to register a firearm to make a full auto. So in order to make a semi-auto AR-15 into a full auto M16 would require either modification of the rifle or a drop-in auto sear, some third-party thing that fits into the gun that does the whatever linkages and connections that makes the thing operate as full auto. And because that thing is separate, you can register. Well, back in the day, you could register that thing. So what this auto key card is if you took that thing that in your pre-86 era would have needed to be registered for $200 and then approved and then give you the legal, authority to make a full auto M16 out of any AR-15 you came across. That's what's the neat part about that. This key card technically was a drawing of it, kind of one version of it, flattened out and not pre-cut, not laser engaged, nothing, just drawn on there. And the big issue is that guy put that thing out for sale. I don't know if it was a joke or a meme, how the kids say meme, or if it was something else, but his family and him are now in jail, and they're sitting in jail. We're sitting around farting around on the internet acting like there's nothing going on in the world. And this guy's in jail, and his family is in jail because he decided to be funny and put a picture of a thing that's been outlawed by assholes since 1986, which wouldn't change anything, like, as far as violence or death rates, but it's just a bureaucratic thing to create a tax, or in this case, to block a segment of the culture so that they can move the Overton window, or attempt to force a change in culture. But anyway, it's a debacle, it's a mess up, it's a screw up, and it's something that, when we're better as a community, we'll know it, because things like this won't be sat through blindly. I mean, how many shows are live right now and they're not talking about that? And I'm about to move on and not talk about it also, right? So next is Locked and Loaded Latinos. So if you get frustrated and you're angry, then wait till Sunday or immediately stop listening to this and go watch their channel and then calm down and shut up about it because they are the next. They are what is good out of the new. Most of the new sucks. We all know that. Most kids are idiots and they're just going to sit around being lazy and just be jerks, right? These are the opposite. These are the youngins that are actually going to change the future in a positive way. So you can go watch that or wait till Sunday and watch it again. I started writing on here how many subs they have. They only have 372 subs. Crump's got 1,000.9, even though he had the only channel. Even I haven't been able to do this. He's the only channel to bring the original modern firearms or gun owners' rights group together that inspired all the other gun owners' rights groups. And this guy's got barely 2,000 subs. Sure, people hate John Crump. They hate him. But still, you would think that even the people that hate him will usually subscribe so that they can immediately watch whatever drops and hate it, right? He had Texas. He had Lot on in Texas. I would have that on. I have to have that on. If Smeggy knew that I didn't post this, he'd get all pissed. I didn't even know it happened, but Crump has it on there, and he still only has 2,000 subs, right? We'll go through and compare that. But here, Locked and Loaded Latinos, hands by pretty much unanimous decision, the best new channel on YouTube, only 372 subs. That's how you know people haven't figured it out yet. Anyway, you can go watch their show. It was all right this week. Let's see. Girls did 2A stuff this week. For whatever reason, I'm pretty sure this sentence got me blacklisted on Patreon this week. I post this on Patreon better because I respect the people on Patreon because they support us. And there's this formatted, and I'm pretty sure this is the sentence that got us in trouble on Patreon this week, I think. But this segment is new, and I'm going to leave it in here anyway. And it's the segment about the girls because they do stuff. They shoot now. Turns out they own guns. So here, there's this chick style. Oh, wait, let's go to Armed and Tacked and Styled first. This is a girl from, I think, Utah. And I talked about her last week, her channel, and I'm pretty sure she's legit. It's possible that she's a plant and she's just selling holsters, but if she is, she's the best commercial I've ever seen for it. So dig in this one. If you got chicks in your life, tell them to look at this. This is how you mansplain it to a chick. Go, don't look at this channel. I don't want you looking at this channel. And then they'll go look at it. And then this other one, Style Me Tactical. I've been watching her since, well, I've known of her since Chicago, Gun Rights Policy Conference, Chicago, AmCon, the day before Gun Rights Policy Conference. Did I get invited to that? No, but I went to Chicago anyway and just went there. And in that one, which was one of the other AmCons where they basically just did exactly what they did the year before in Dallas and started getting me upset about AmCon. But one of the things they didn't do, well, no, actually, she was in Dallas also. So I guess maybe I learned about her in Dallas. No, I didn't. So I think it was Chicago. Anyway, when I first, no, she wasn't. I don't remember. She was at the first AmCon, I think. No, I'm pretty sure it was the Dallas one, or the Chicago one. Anyway, whenever I first seen her, she was with some other girl, and I thought they were gun bunnies. So I didn't pay much attention to them. Now it is 6 years later, and I need to shut up because they're kicking ass. They're better than me, like way better than me. So definitely not gun bunnies. Again, if you got a chick in your life, tell them don't look at this channel and then see if they like it. There's this, which is a video that she posted. I don't know any of their names. It's what she posted of a video that is really long, and it's a 1 hour video. Half an hour of it is crap, I don't know the names of these girls. One of them, this one, I'm gonna call her the girl that's wearing red. She's one entrepreneur business owner who's kicking ass, and she's a chick. And then this is Style Me Tactical. I don't know their names, but one of them is named Emily and the other one's named Amy. So this video is worth watching if you're an entrepreneur or you like the Second Amendment or you're just not an idiot, right? You're gonna like that video. Then there's this thing, which I just learned about. I don't know if it's a scam or what, but you got Julie Galoob, you got this Style Me Tactical girl, you got this other one, I can't know what she does, and then one of the other ones is something 2A. I think it might be her. So this is some sort of girl entrepreneurial thing, I think. And this was their two versions. So I listened to both. Really interesting. Really interesting. Armed and Styled, already talked about it. First video there is getting your spouse into concealed carry. Whatever. If you got a spouse, tell her not to watch this video and then see what she says. And then how my concealed carry setup is evolved over time. Again, I don't care. I don't really care if you watch this or not, but I think I'm just putting these in here to give these girls some extra links to a channel with 167,000 subs because they're kicking ass. Like I say, if this one is a commercial, they're doing commercials good. This girl I know is not a commercial. That's the chicks that are changing the world right there. Oh, and then this chick here, or this girl here. Diana, right? So she went and seen, what is that show called? Newsmax. We're going to look at it. I'm going to get copyrighted because I don't care, right? This is from the DC Project on whatever the hell Newsmax is. So here we go. Let's get copyrighted for real. I don't know who this dingus is. Heather Dingus is what her name should be because she just stands there looking like somebody just broke a window in front of her and she doesn't know how to react. So I guess that's cool for news people. This guy is a drone. He doesn't exist. He's fake. Didn't say a word. And then you get Diana, right? So she's 23, right? How hard is it to remember the number 23? This chick is later going to say you're a 25-year-old retiree. Like, what the hell does that mean? So anyway, I don't know what Newsmax is. I have no respect for it. They had Diana on, which I guess is good. And they go former Tulsa police officer. I don't know if I like that, but you're watching it live, right? They go from her dingus, fake, and Diana, right? Number one, shots for gun control. Dems push for stricter gun laws in wake, right? So they're not woke. They're not woke at all. They are exploitationary, right? Dems push. So they're all about the party politics garbage. Shootings, we're shooters, right? This is giving them words of ours. So these people, Newsmax ain't woke. Newsmax ain't nothing. But they had Diana on, so we got to give them that credit. Except for they put in former Tulsa police officer, like Diana, a chick who's hanging out in Washington, D.C. probably longer than some representatives are getting paid to be there, right? Probably knows her way around the Capitol better than a bunch of them because she actually goes and pays attention to what she's doing. Doesn't just go there, brings 50 other chicks with her, right? Changes the face of gun ownership to these representatives in real ways. Also, 23-year veteran of the police department. You could say veteran on here instead of former. Former could be anything, right? And then she's a professional competition shooter. I don't keep track of that stuff, but I'm pretty sure she's good at it. And what the hell? And then all the other stuff she's done. So whatever, former police officer. Way to downplay it, idiots. So then we get, watch what's happening here. I'm not going to play the audio because maybe that won't copyright me. What's this garbage? That's a 22 with a fake suppressor on it, right? Just Nazi shit over here. This is a stupid ass high point looking stupider than you can get. There's some stupid high point mags. Here's garbage that somebody's grandpa gave them or else they bought for $10 each at some gun show. And it's on somebody's like bed who either has their mom make their bed for them or they're a girl. And there's no way these are girls' guns. So there's no explanation why this assortment of garbage is on that bed, right? Like, what is going on here? Then they start showing this crap. I guess this is a gun shop. And this is why gun shops don't want want media in their shops because they're going to take footage like this and lay it next to Diana Mueller, who is trying to say something useful to remember she's talking to Dingus and the fake over here, right? Who are saying things like, I like tapioca, as she's trying to say stuff, right? So then they lay this next to it. So whatever the hell Newsmax is, needs to wake up. Now we know Diana has more sense in her little finger than this entire production company, but at least she's over there doing this, right? And ideally, she'll see this and go, and they'll say, hey, can you come back? Because our ratings suck. And when you come on, you offer validity, right? And authority to our garbage, like worthless show. And then hopefully Diana can go, you know what? Maybe when, and then she'll give them a list of like things that they can do to be at least decent and not suck so bad. But let's give massive applause to Diana for being awesome and doing this in the first place. Boom. Next. Can you identify the 5 chicks in this photo? This one went nuts. So I posted this picture from this girl and this girl sitting at this table with these 3 other chicks sitting behind them. And then I go, can you identify the 5 ladies in this photo? It's pretty easy. They are all rock stars of 2A, doing more individually than entire companies in our industry. If you can't identify the women who are working to protect our rights, but you can list off 10 guns that have entered the market since 2019, then you are doing 2A wrong. For some reason, people got mad about this. The ladies are using their time on this planet to change the future. This photo was taken as history was made. Don't believe me? Wait and see. And then I said, P.S., there are no tags, no cheat sheet, and if you don't know who they are, go find out, right? Because F you if you don't know who they are. Pretty sure people didn't like that and they got all upset about it. So guess what I'm going to keep doing, losers? If you're too stupid to know who 5 chicks are, then you're definitely not 2A. Then we get to 2A community hysterics. So there's this channel on Instagram called Moms at Arms, and they posted this thing because of the whole, I don't know, because of one of the, what did I call it, community hysterics that's going on. So here's what we got going on. We've got Diana Mueller, Chris, and others are taking, doing their thing, like kicking ass, hanging out in Washington, D.C., doing stuff with representatives that's effective, right? You get the president of the United States who campaigned to have guns removed from the country from private individuals, law-abiding citizens, right? And was proud of that this time around, where often they just say that stuff in the primaries and then downplay it. This guy's been shouting it up. This guy's also been shouting up other stuff that's now coming to roost, and he's got all the incentive in the world to use any distraction he can, and he's got multiple mass atrocities, murderers that have played into the media narrative so that they can exploit the shit out of their actions, right? Those individual actions that are then going to be carried out, well, with their ideal situation, would be carried out against law-abiding gun owners, right? In that case, we had the first press conference, which came late, and he had all the reason in the world to distract by throwing out, the law-abiding gun owners' rights under the bus, and instead he immediately diverted, right? And so some people might be happy and content with the concept that the feeblest guy that they make fun of constantly is also some kind of championship 4D chess master, and they still need to be worried. Or you can not be concerned about the hype, and you can, you've got all that going on. You can either get ready to fight and do something with the potential, with the opportunity that there might be right now. There's no way to know if there's opportunity until later, but it certainly seems like we could have the possibility right now. But instead of doing that, people are taking the opportunity to squabble and get ratings and attention and views and money by just, what's the word I used before again? Hysterics, right? I'm just going to use that. So there's about 3 or 4 different hysteric reasons people are worried about what other people do. If you're an observer, this is the best time to observe, right? You cannot get better time to observe right now. So Mom at Arms posted this. The 2A community is so oversaturated with so many great minds competing for the spotlight that no one knows who the real enemy is anymore. The reason why gun control is winning, because gun control groups keep their pettiness for one another off social media. Instead of creating new groups and drama daily, they unite under a single institution for the sake of their agenda. Gun rights groups and influencers, though. And then she's got a bunch of slaffy signs here. That's fine. You can have that opinion, but I'm going to mansplain here in a second my position on this. Their side are employees. They work 9 to 5. What did I say here? And take home their earnings to spend, right? Our side is passionate individuals who are either eager to contribute, bitter that their positions aren't appreciated, or fakes exploiting the whole situation. Or to sum it up, our side is real, and like a family, it isn't always going to be pretty or tidy or efficient, but we are united by the love of the individual and a common goal of freedom. We might not be walking straight up to the steps and directly to the door, but we're making progress. And that's my point, is that right now, when we have tons of potential, and we definitely have a fight ahead of us, there's people that are content to capitalize, to make money on just eyeballs, getting eyeballs, bouncing them around. We have all the potential in the world to practice. We can either talk about what we're going to buy next, or we can get good at the stuff that we already possess. We can get good and practice, at the skills, at the stuff we got, or we can continue to obtain and buy more. I already ranted about that at Every Second Matters earlier, but it's not that we're going to eat ourselves. We're just going to sit there watching, doing nothing. We're just going to buy stuff until there's nothing left to do. If we just continually get distracted by stuff. Let's see what's Clover saying here. I think I could care less about getting a spotlight. I think I got a pretty good track record of more of aiming the spotlight so that. Wait, so that is bull. Wait, I could care less about getting a spotlight. I think I got a pretty good track record more of aiming the spotlight so that it is bull. Oh, so that is bull. And how are many tactics and ideas bad? Well, I'm not sure which one you're yelling about. Let's see. So are you talking about, well, you got to clarify. I'm not sure which one you're yelling about. I yelled about a lot of things right now. But, I'm not talking about you, dude. I'm talking about losers. So you do stuff. And here's the thing about this guy. He does stuff that he can't or he won't, well, he can't talk about, but he wouldn't anyway. That's pretty neat. And, well, when it's all over, actually, nobody's going to care. But it is pretty neat. And he's doing stuff at a level that's like 4 levels deeper than most people are bothering with, but you'll never get recognition for it, dude. Those of us that know what you're doing are stoked, though. We know what you're doing. Let's see. So some dudes did things this week also. So even though chicks are carrying all the weight and doing it all, like dudes come along and watch them. So Foss is out there. Was he? Is he still out here? No, he doesn't care about this show. He doesn't show. That dude did a 300 sub show, and here's a link to it. Also, here, I guess I didn't stick them together. He also does an overnight show every other week on a Saturday. He does this before Gizzard, because Gizzard's too lazy to wake up that early. So he does this every other week of pre-Gizzard, and this was his week. It was okay. I missed part of it this week because I was sleeping for some reason in the middle of the night. Let's see. Then we had Gizzard doing his early show. He's quirking me right now. And then technically I'm quirking him, but let's just say he's quirking me. And then on Sundays, he does the other show, which is 4-hour long conversation about guns and 2A. Let's see. We got Rant and Raves. Celebrated 800 subscribers or submarine sandwiches, depending on how you read that abbreviation. And that was like Tuesday or something. I think that's all of them. I'm doing them out of order. Then Saturdays, G23 did a show. Got a link to it here. Notice I've got the subs here. Gizzard just barely hit 1,000. His 1,000-ding was like a couple of days ago, and he's already at 1.7. So he's already in 4th gear and not caring at all anymore. A lot of these subs are under 300. So that's kind of neat. You have an opportunity to jump in on the ground floor of some of these channels as they grow. G23, 200 and something subs. Less than 250 subs, right? This dude, every Saturday, pretty much every Saturday, goes live and opens up a room so that people can chat about guns. And whenever, well, at least whenever I watch it, he does pretty good at directing it or steering it towards 2A topics. So kudos, one of the better shows each week. You got Riding Shotgun with Charlie. This dude does stuff. And this week he posted this like kind of funny clown car type of video with the people from Florida Carry. And, it's not my thing, but I think it can't get a better example, a better illustration, a visual illustration of how dedicated folks are to Second Amendment right community, right? The right of the the gun owners' rights community. I guess that's the way to say it. The Second Amendment and the defense of it brings people together, and the group that is, the gun rights policy. What's the name of that thing? What's the name of that radio thing that only certain people are allowed to join the radio network or something? Like that group of that little clique, they have a lot of fun and they get around. So again, seeing them all cram into a clown car, like literally, jam into, he had to buy like the second smallest car available in Florida and then conned like 8 people to climb into it. Then did a video as they drive around. It's probably highly illegal, but certainly, again, an illustration of just how much heart these people got into this and, how we're all just regular nerds having fun. So it's cool that Charlie's out there adding that. Imagine how boring this would be if it was just a bunch of, people that aren't Charlie walking around being weird and boring. It'd be a lot harder to get people interested. Trust me, there's no way to get people interested, period. Cramming like a whole bunch of people into a car at least might get somebody's attention once in a while. Then we get Gun Owners of America, 70,000 subs. So how am I almost 100,000 subs more than Gun Owners of America? Somebody explain that to me. That is me. I'm an asshole. I haven't done anything hardly on YouTube in years, and I dwarf them, right? 170 subs, 160 subs to them, double their size easy. And that's Gun Owners of America, for crying out loud. 5 million, 2 million members. Last time I saw Eric on a video that he mentioned it was 2 million members, and they have 80,000 subscribers on YouTube. Anybody that thinks YouTube is significant, I think that's an example of the contrary. YouTube is a fraction of a diversion of some subset of population of people. It's still big, but amazing numbers of the people on YouTube are useless Canadians or insignificant Europeans that only watch what we're doing, right, in a desperate attempt to be like us. They're not actually influential here. So value your voice. If you're one of these people that does stuff, no, you don't do nothing. There's people that do stuff. There's not that many people that do stuff watching tonight, but if you're one of the people that does stuff, yeah, you're doing good stuff. You're doing it in front of a very small number of people. Legacy subscribers, time the channels have been live. I don't know what that means. But 70,000 subs, 2 million members, and I'd like you to go check out this 12-minute video. And I mean, I'll be the first one to get in line and complain about Paul any day of the week, but I'll also be the first one to push anybody over who starts giving him shit, because he's there every single day, except for when he's too lazy to be there. He's there every single day trying to do what what's already been done before, but hell, he's doing it, right? Gun Owners of America is bigger. They got more money. They got more people. And this is definitely better produced. It's like 12 minutes, and like this much of it is stuff, and the rest of it is, the frills. I'm not a chick. Maybe that's what needs to be there for the chicks. Maybe it's not to me, but I'm just putting it there. I'm not bitching about Gun Owners of America, but there's no heroes. No single unit is doing this for us. Marines are okay. They're not all that, but we need them, right? The Navy, nobody cares about the Navy, but we need them, right? Nobody else is going to drive around in boats. Coast Guard's always kicking the shit out of stuff, and nobody gives them any respect. So we need all the units, not just the Army. It's not just the Army. I mean, even though the Army does everything and they're better at it, it's not just the Army. We need all these units. So, Gun Owners of America, come on. I'm just saying, let's not act like everybody's perfect out here either. Then we get to mic drop. So talk about Navy. Oh, yeah, he's Navy. Talk about Navy. They do stuff good once in a while. This dude has done this, I guess, 70 episodes now of this mic drop podcast. And I got tuned on to this, 3-4 weeks ago, and I've listened to every single one. I'm not going to stop talking about how awesome it is. Change your life. Get a better perception of what's going on. Take some hours, because his podcasts are real. They're not fake. Let's introduce somebody and then, introduce somebody again and then introduce somebody else again. These are talking to people. Oh my gosh, it's the best podcast you're ever going to listen to. It is focused on military stuff for the most part. So it's not for the lighthearted. It's real. And you got to realize the world is real. It isn't marshmallow freaking cupcakes and jelly beans all the damn time. And excellent podcast. This week, Sean Buck Rogers, a dude who you would not think would be your ideal candidate for Green Beret. And awesome interview. Not the best one, but awesome nonetheless. Better than anything else I've talked about all day. Maybe not the girls. Then we get Every Second Matters. Barbecue is the only one I know of that did anything for Every Second Matters this month. So, maybe it'll die. Maybe it won't. We did a show earlier. Clover jumped in. Thanks for that. I don't know which one to click on. One of these ones was Clover. Creating new 2A activists or keeping 2A activists. So that's another one. Last week, I think it was Friday, I was flabbergasted. I had no idea that we have this division. I mean, I've only been in this for a little while, and I sort of pay attention to what's going on, and I'm trying to figure out what it all is, right? And share that with people. So I've been not just trying to pay attention, but also put that into some place where it can be useful to be seen by other people. And I had no idea this was a division. And not only is it a division, it's a major division that is a landslide. Nobody gives a shit about existing 2A activists. If you're more than about 15 minutes old and you're a 2A activist, nobody gives a shit about you. Let's go over and check out the numbers, the responses I got from YouTube. 81% to 19. You might as well go to AARP, old man. Nobody cares at all about you. All they care about is the new. I don't know about you, but all I read out of that is there's too many new people that the content doesn't matter anymore. As long as they can take $10 as you walk through the door, all they got to do is say, hello, thank you, hello, thank you, hello, thank you. And if there's a million people in line, they just made $10 million, taking $10 from everybody walking through the door. I don't think that's good for us in the long run. So I'm just out here to stir things up for real. If I'm wrong, then tell me how a bunch of little kids are going to save the future. I don't watch cartoons and think they're real. I watch cartoons and get inspiration from them until I'm an adult, and then I get the practical applications from them. So anyway, I don't know if that analogy bounced or not, but this was eye-opening to me. I had no idea. I think I brought it up last week, but we actually have some feedback on it now. 81% to 19. Nobody cares at all about existing 2A activists. I had no idea. So maybe that's just me. Obviously, there's a massive swing here. So it just might be me and 18% of the other people out there, of the 9 people that are watching this show, that, we're probably old existing 2A activists that nobody gives a shit about. I guess we're going to have a community that has no experience and no ability. We're just going to have a bunch of new gullibles coming up and falling for whatever's in front of them because they have no option, because they don't respect or give a shit about what already is there. They need something new, and if it's new, it wins. It's good, right? Yeah, sorry to leave it that way, but that was the last thing. This last link got shared a lot this week. What was that? Oh yeah, some guy said this, and then I said this. And again, I don't know. It doesn't make me happy that that's the kind of shit that gets shared. You know what I'd like to get shared? This stuff. The stuff about how we've got incremental achievements. We've got incremental forward progress. We have incremental forward progress at a state level at a time when a president who has all the interest in the world in diverting from the other national level issues that are literally melting down in front of him, other things that he campaigned on. He has murderers that are conceding to the media to give them the opportunity to complain about stuff, and the guy does not. We have incremental successes in that situation. But instead, we complain about garbage and bullshit. So we're never going to not do that. That's human nature. But what we can do is, with our actions and our insight, try to make effect. We don't have very many firearms accidents anymore. And that's because we all inherently, inarticulably pass on firearm safety etiquette and tradition to the next, right? And 2A activism, 2A awareness, that hasn't been in our, is it lexicon? Is that the right word? It hasn't been in our thing yet. Like, shall not be infringed is barely out there. Don't tread on me is barely universal. So, we've got new challenges coming up. We've got a new gun community, period. Like, it's different. So it is changing constantly. And I'm not offering answers here. I'm just offering some insight. We'll leave it with a tech tip. There's already a social score. And what are you doing about it? You have a social score. So if you think that you've mastered everything there is to master about Second Amendment advocacy, you even pay attention to who's paying attention to your networks. Are you posting everything you do on social platforms that hate you and your agenda and are watching everything you do and at the whim can turn it on or off, but more importantly, can leave it on and track and record and prevent and out strategize, because you're literally creating your strategy on their property. I wouldn't go to my adversary and rent a room, right? I would certainly not go to my adversary and rent an office room with 2-way mirrors in every room, right? I wouldn't rent an office, I guess, with 2-way mirrors in every room where they could be literally watching and listening to everything we did in our office. And what's the difference between hosting your Second Amendment, your pro-gun owners' rights group on a platform that hates you, and hates the project that you're working on. Doesn't make any sense to me. So let's get empowered and let's not depend on things that hate us. Let's get better than that. I'm going to keep working on tech tips, and we'll do these when we can. Let's see. Might be something to do. He's planning on seeking. You know what, dude? I'll get into that with anybody at any time. Nobody invites me to their stuff, so that's not going to happen probably. But yeah, I hear you, but I don't agree. I don't think that it is something else that prevented the firearms. I think that if there was another thing, they'd be using it as a diversion, but I'm really just debating the world right now. You know, nothing right now because you just made a comment. But yeah, I think that, well, I don't know. I've only been around for a while, and I've only been focused on the fight since 2015. But, well, I guess maybe since 2013, I've been in the fight. And since 2015, I've been dedicated to doing something about it. And we've had more than one opportunity to push, and we never take it. We've never taken it. So it's not like I'm scorning anybody. We've never done this before. But it would certainly be nice to change the dynamic and change the paradigm and to start pushing the same way they did in 1995 when they were slighted with the assault weapons ban. We have it in us, and we've got new fighters. The people in California are going to be monsters. They already are. Some of the other states are going to create dynamos, and everybody else will sit back and watch, I think, because that's what we're good at. With that, I don't know. Nobody's saying anything else. So with that, thanks for joining. Every week we'll take a wrap up as long as we can do it. This is all for our Patreons, by our Patreons. Thank you for giving us the time to do it.